Good morning, Raptor Freaks. My name is Alexiot, and this morning is the first ever Raptorsfreak Sunday Service. And today, I would like to read a sermon for you about um, the 7 principles of faith. The 7 principles of faith. Will be a non-denominational sermon, no religious implications of it, other than that you love the Raptors, and you follow the Raptors and you believe in them. That's all that matters. All right, let me check with your comments real quick, and then we'll get into it. Guardian Transit saying it very well could be an interesting summer for Masai and Bobby. I definitely see some sort of changes coming. Yes, we will speak of having faith in Masai Ujiri this morning. And that is what we're going to do. Yeah, very soon. Mike is here. Logical Raptors fanatic. Salute real ones. Project Truth always. I heard Zach Lowe's take on the trade deadline and this season. I would say it's fair. The signal he got is right. In my opinion, Masai believes he can build a good team at the moment. Yes, I love that part of it. But I don't like the guest he had on the show that was trying to speculate through unnamed sources that the players do not believe in the team themselves, and that is part of the problem. I hate this speculation without any kind of real source or any substantive, like something to it. It's just hearsay and somebody just making shit up. As far as I'm concerned, when it's like that, it's just like the OG stuff from last summer and Bob McCown's radio report this year. So the Zach Lowe podcast had a guest on there that was speculating, and I don't appreciate that, especially with how we are struggling right now and we're having different problems with the Raptors, that we don't need that extra noise. No, we don't. All right, I have an Italian lesson from Nameless here. Let me see if I can read this. We'll make this very ceremonial. Nel nome del Padre, il Figlio e dello Spirito Santo. And yes, he has the church, he has the cross, he has the wizard, and he has the people sitting. I hope I said that right. I might have butchered some Italian this morning. All right, Logical is also saying, I think there's enough talent with the center hole fixed, and now it's about finding out who fits and who doesn't as the younger guys grow. The ceiling, it will fit, will be more defined and easier to figure out. Yes, Mike, that's how I feel, because I truly do have faith in Masai, and that is what we're going to talk about today, having faith in Masai. That's right, baby. That is right there. Tells you all you need to know. The glittering gold of an NBA championship that the Raptors collected in 2019. How can one not have faith in Masai? That he said he would bring this to Toronto. And he did. He did very much bring this championship ring to Toronto. Look at this. Look at this beautiful ring with gems laden in it. This is actually not a real, this is not a facsimile one. This is actually a fairly real one. This is not one of the plastic ones they gave at the game. This is like a different one. Ooh, Tristan's laughing about it. Yeah, this is going to be tongue-in-cheek, y'all. I want y'all to know I do not want to insult anyone today with their religious beliefs. I do not want to make a farce of religion at all. That's not in my intention. My intention is to use elements of sermons and Sunday services to illustrate some points about having faith in Masai Ujiri. And I do not want to insult anybody. If I do cross a line or say something weird or say something crazy today, please let me know if you have a problem with it. And then I will rectify it with you and I'll apologize, because I'm doing something a little weird today that I never ever done on this stream. And I want to make sure that I don't like piss anybody off or make anybody upset, because that is important to me. That's not the intention of this. This is not parody. There is some seriousness to this, but also at the same time, it should be taken lightly and tongue in cheek. Okay. Just so premise what I'm going to do here today. This is going to be interesting. As you can see, I got a different background. I'm wearing my holy scarf. I got my hat and I got my SB4 jersey on, and I've got my ring on. That's the other thing that you never see my ring until today. This is my championship ring that I prize and I kiss every day to bring more championships to Toronto. So yeah, let's see what else you guys are saying real quick, and then I'll get into it. Mike saying an executive was the source of that weird insert. Yeah, I think they're just making shit up, Mike. Cece's here at Guardian Transit. I had the same thing yesterday. An interesting summer ahead, but my comment was erased. I don't know what's going on with YouTube. it shouldn't be erasing any of y'all's comments. I'm definitely not erasing any comments, and hopefully none of the mods are doing it either. I'm pretty sure they're not because they've been instructed not to erase comments. So, Cece, if you're getting censored by YouTube, I'm going to go ahead and make you a moderator because that's the way it works. If you're not getting your messages through, I want to make sure because moderators will get their message through. So you're getting that wrench. All right. Let's see. Nameless is going to be sending around the collection jar soon. See, this is exactly what I want. I mean, Nameless is having fun with this, and this is exactly what I wanted. She's laughing about it. All right, this will be an entertaining one, guys. All right, well, let me take care of my first normal business. There is a G League game today at 3 o'clock. The Raptors 905 are in Grand Rapids, playing Grand Rapids, and they're Grand Rapids Gold. And that game is at 3, so be ready for it. We can watch some basketball this afternoon with the time change. I know we're a little early, too, because it's actually 8:30, the time change. Our referees for the G League game today are J.D. Rawls, Chelsea Painter, and Eric Alig. So that, all right, we get some Raptors action today at 3 o'clock. Hopefully we win. I'm sick of losing. The Raptors teams have been losing 4 straight now. 2 losses by the 905 to Philadelphia, Delaware Bluecoats, and then the 2 LA losses by the Raptors plus the Denver loss. So yeah, we need a win for one of the Raptors teams today. We got to get back on that W. Let's see. Tom Duke saying, well played on setting the parameters, Lex. Sweet bling, too. Thanks, man. Yeah, isn't that nice? Oh, it's so beautiful. I mean, seriously, they gave ones that didn't have anybody's names. This is a Lowry ring. This is the number 7 and Lowry on the side of it. So this is a Kyle Lowry championship ring. Fiercely Sim, I have faith him and Bobby are best suited to analyze and dissect every option, but benefiting our team. Recent Pirtle move was just the beginning. More to come in the offseason. Amen. Oh, testify, Fiercey. Yes, testify. That's exactly what I'm looking for this morning. Is a testification. I don't know if that's the right word. A test. No, I don't want to make a bad joke about male anatomy. Yeah, it's just thank you for exaltation. Yes, Nako's here. Worst move Masai did recently was drafting Malachi. I mean, that's arguable. That's arguable, Nako. That's arguable. And Mike's saying, talk from the Old Testament of the days before Masai and how things went with former GMs and teams. And then talk. This is exactly right, Mike. You're actually kind of hitting it on the nail on the head for what I'm kind of going to do today. Now, also, I did not prepare this very well. So please, I'm not used to telling sermons. So if I'm a little flustery or a little bit mess up on the words, just go with it because I'm going to be kind of making it up on the fly within a real sermon, and I'll be replacing words that fit for us, exactly like Mike is saying. So my creativity is going to be tested as far as improving on the fly, reading copies. Just so you know, this is a real sermon I'm going to read, but I'm going to replace everything with words that apply to our situation, basically. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and try this. Why not? Let's see. The first Raptorsfreak Sunday Service. I'm glad that we have believers here today in I'm not even calling it church, my bedroom or whatever. We're on the stream today. I'm glad that all these believers have come today and joined me today on my sermon today to talk about faith. Talk about faith in Masai. Faith in Masai Ujiri, the leader of the Toronto Raptors. Because right now, there's his cloudy world right now full of confusion and worry and fear about what is happening with the Toronto Raptors and where we're going and what direction we're going. Is it a good direction or not? So today I'd like to talk about the 7 principles to fortify faith. And this is what I would like to talk to you today about. So therefore, you have received Masai Ujiri as the president of the Toronto Raptors. So walk to him, rooted and built up in him and established in the faith, just as you're taught, that he will take care of the Raptors and bring more Larry O'Brien championships to Toronto. There are 7 vital principles that fortify faith: decisiveness, diligence, determination, dedication, discipline, dependence, and discernment. And we will go through all 7 of these principles. The principle of decisiveness, but to test everything, hold fast what is good. A double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. Decisiveness is one of the most sought-after qualities in a business environment. Firm, wise decisions can make the difference between success and failure. prosperity, or austerity. Decisiveness is defined as the ability to make right decisions at the right time, confidently, and devoting all our energy to a course of action which we know is right. Decisiveness is choosing to do what is right based on accurate truth, wise counsel, and clearly defined goals. Masai doesn't just want you to wonder about him. He wants you to know and understand him. Masai wants to be part of our decision process with the Raptors, and his counsel is vital to the Raptors. To leave Masai out by ignoring the truths of him and deny the privilege of his perspective, which he is always willing to share with us at press conferences, when we genuinely make a decision to follow Masai, he will truly be on our side and help us in the time of need when we need to get championships. Decisiveness is the ability to finalize difficult decisions based on the will and then the way of Masai. Let us therefore come boldly to the throne of grace, that we may obtain mercy and find grace to help in the time of need. Decisiveness is a key element in any successful endeavor. Our greatest decision in life is to accept that Masai Ujiri knows what he's doing and that we should trust him. Trust in Masai, that he should do a good job. He has the infallible standard of good character. I'm not gonna say that, but all right, let me see. Decisiveness is focusing on our destination rather than focusing on the distractions. Consider how people in the Bible manifested the quality of decisiveness and then called on others to decide. I can read this. At the end of Rob Bobcat's life. No, I shouldn't say that either. That's wrong. I shouldn't say that. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to even try and read that part. It's too crazy. All right, we'll move on. The principle of diligence. Keep thy heart with all diligence, for out of it are the issues of life. According to the dictionary, diligence is careful attention, unremitting application, and persistent endeavor. A diligent person is described as assiduous, industrious, conscientious, thorough, not idle, not negligent, not lazy. Why does Masai prize diligence? Masai values diligence in his people, as evidenced by the numerous references to diligence in the book of Proverbs. Here are a few examples. Diligent hands will rule, but laziness ends in slave labor. All hard work brings a profit, but mere talk brings only poverty. You know, that's what I'm saying. Masai Ujiri, he wants diligence from his staff in ways that builds in good energy towards more Larry O'Brien championships. So as a man, Masai prizes diligence highly. Diligence is a man's precious possession. The plans of the diligent surely lead to the plenty. In fact, Masai demands diligence. You shall be diligently practicing. You should be diligently scouting. You should be diligently coaching. I'm trying not to laugh. This is silly. Diligence allows us to operate with our best for his highest, with excitement and passion in order to complete our work. It's a practical obedience in action, which is the loving of our call and pursuing of our work, so we are doing our best to get the Larry O'Brien championships. Diligence also helps facilitate us to develop a good attitude, as well as confidence, patience, forgiveness, values, loyalty, integrity, and in a place to build and develop a positive and attractive disposition to those with whom we work with. That means diligence will add to good vibes and working well together, playing well together, being diligent in your work and going forward. Give you faith that Masai Ujiri and the Toronto Raptors organization will bring more Larry O'Brien championships. The principle of determination. For I determined to know nothing among you except that, never mind. David Livingstone said, I'd rather be in the heart of Africa in the will of God than on the throne of England out of his will. If being in the will of God means that you're working in some lonely, distant, difficult mission field, you are still in the best place you could possibly be. So there are two kinds of knowledge of Masai: speculative and practical. The former remains in the head, the latter, the heart. It's espoused by people that are on YouTube that talk about Fred VanVleet. The speculative. The former is obtained by an exercise of our own faculties, the latter only by believing in Masai Ujiri, the practical. The latter intended in our text. The knowledge leads us to receive Masai as our divine savior to save the Raptors and get them more championships, which prompts us to rely on Masai in reference of every one of his offices. Intellectual knowledge, however, is not to be neglected, because we cannot be affected by truths of which we are ignorant. But we are to understand that Masai is going to bring us more championships. To know we're not is to not understand the bare historical knowledge of him bringing us a championship already. It implies an experimental knowledge of him is to feel the power of it. Without this knowledge, our performances as well as our persons will not be acceptable. So it is important for determination to believe that Masai Ujiri is working towards the right path to getting a second Larry O'Brien and another ring for the Raptors. Therefore, as you have received Masai Ujiri as the savior of the Raptors, so walk with him, rooted and built up in him, and established in the faith, just as you were taught that he is someone to be trusted to get more Larry O'Brien championships. All right, let me go to the next. The principle of dedication. Therefore, I urge you, brethren, by the mercies of God, to present your bodies a living and holy sacrifice acceptable to God, which is your spiritual service of worship. Sacrifice means giving up everything to get the Larry O'Brien. This sacrifice will become visible in the sacrifice of the body and working out and playing and practicing at the OVO Center, when in all common actions we have a supreme and distinct reference and do or refuse to do because of the fear and the love of winning more Larry O'Brien championships. This offering makes a man live more nobly and more truly than anything else. Not mutilation, but consecration is the true sacrifice towards getting towards more Larry O'Brien championships. Thus, to consecrate oneself is to way to secure a higher and more nobler life. This sacrifice is your reasonable service. It is a dedication, not of mere impulse, fancy, affection, but of our intellect, and a sacrifice in which our minds go along with our hearts. This service and truth requires of us, first and foremost, the true sacrifice, which is to not go out while you're in LA on a road trip and get ready for the game. That is the sacrifice. So, to justify and to love mercy, these are instructions on how to relate to Masai and another Bobby Webster and give him more information about this. Love Masai with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your mind. This is the first and greatest commandment. What he does is really quite simple. He wants all of us. He wants service to flow from those commands. We cannot simply just love the Raptors deeply without seeking and knowing Masai decisively and believing in him diligently, trusting him with determination and love, and seeing him with dedication. To love and walk humbly is to believe and know with absolute commitment that you are in the presence of Masai, and you understand that with Masai, we will find the way to more Larry O'Brien championships. The principle of the discipline, principle number 5. For Raptor freaks and Raptor fans, Raptors Nation, spiritual disciplines have been effective means of finding a way to Larry O'Brien, allowing Masai to transform souls and lives with the winning of the championship that we won in 2019. When a child or even an adult goes through life without any discipline, they're missing out on a character building necessary to make them a better person. However, even though that we're aware of this, people have a hard time disciplining themselves. Self-discipline is not an easy task, no matter how faithful you are to get the championship. There are temptations through life that will constantly plague you, content that will tell you crazy things. But if you listen to Masai in the press conference and you listen to what he says straight out of his mouth, these temptations won't matter as much to you. These silly speculative stories and content makers. Imagine a life where you can strongly stand up to any of these content makers that are negative, and it is completely possible if you just stop watching them. Um, let me keep going. I think this is going okay. It's kind of weird. Um, the principle of dependence. Dependency upon Messiah to bring us the championship is fundamental. In reality, dependency upon him is the only possible way to get the championship here in some ways. So it's Messiah's will for us to be dependent and for us to believe in him that he will bring us back to the Larry O'Brien championship and another championship. This is a true relationship, but in order for this to happen, we have to realize our needs for another championship. But apart from me, you can do nothing. This is how dependent Bobby was on Masai. The son can do nothing by himself. He can only do what he sees Masai is doing. So Bobby Webster came not only to die. Wait, now I'm not gonna read that he's Jesus anyway, like that. One of the things he told people in this context, as an example of living, as a man in the Raptors or a person in Raptors Nation, was that he never did or never could do anything from his own initiative. That Masai needed his support staff and the people around him to bring him up and put him in that position of power to make the decisions for our franchise and to take the reins and do a good job of directing us towards more Larry O'Brien championships. In other words, he wanted him to do, even when it came, never mind. I'm not even gonna read that. That's not gonna work. They started talking about crucifixion. We're not doing that. All right, let's see. It is easy to think that we humble ourselves, but humility towards others is only sufficient proof that our humility is real. It's okay, I'm going to skip that part too. All right, the last principle, the principle of discernment. But he is a spiritual judge that judges all things in players and prospects for the Toronto Raptors. What does it mean to have discernment? I'm not going to read that part. Yeah, that's a crazy story. I'm not going to read that. Discernment is defined as the quality of being able to grasp and comprehend what is obscure, an act of perceiving something like scouting, going out and seeing players that are good and knowing that that is somebody you should probably get for your team. A power to see what is not evident to the average mind. The definition also stresses accuracy, as in the ability to see the truth about players and determining whether they're good or not. Discernment is the ability to tell the difference between truth and error. It is basic to having wisdom. It is as simple as definition. Discernment is nothing more than the ability to decide between truth and error, right and wrong. Discernment is the process of making careful distinctions in our thinking. In other words, the ability to think with discernment is synonymous with the ability to think smartly. It is our responsibility to identify what is right and what is wrong. And Masai Ujiri is a very astute judge of making the discernment decisions to help us get to a good place with the Raptors. Anyway, I don't know if that was a complete fail. I'm sorry, I can't take it totally seriously. But yeah, there you go. There's my weird, silly sermon for this morning. 7 principles of faith. And I guess, did that make any sense? Maybe it was all kind of a weird experiment, but basically, I would like to say, as an add-on, just ad-libbing right now, is listen, this man came here just over 10 years ago and he promised us some things. Well, he's already came through with them and he says he wants to do it again. So when I see somebody do something, they say they're going to do it and they do it, I believe them. That's part of the reason why I have faith in Masai, is because he showed up. And he said very early on, I'm going to bring a championship to Toronto. And he did do that. So when he says, I want to bring more championships here, it's really easy for me to have faith in him because he showed that he is capable and that he figured out a way to get one here. The odds are stacked against the Raptors franchise in the NBA to win more championships. They definitely are. But if anybody involved in the NBA is able to overcome those odds and be a gangster and be a rogue and overcome it and just go against the system, it's Masai Ujiri. And that's why I want Raptor fans to really, really double down on trusting in Masai. That Masai really is the leader that our team needs so badly. That so many franchises of sports out there right now wish that they had a man at the helm like Masai Ujiri guiding their team. That too much teams have a couple cooks in the kitchen running things, and it doesn't get run right because there's no one clear vision from one person. That you have like three or four people trying to battle over whose vision will get win out. And that's really bad for sports franchises. So that's another reason why you want to really have somebody like Masai around. You can ask the Maple Leafs. They've wanted a Masai Ujiri for a while now since we got one because they really would like somebody to have a clear vision on how to build their team. And, so it's the same kind of thing. So let me see what you guys are saying also. I apologize if I offended anybody. I know it's a little weird of a stream this morning, not the normal stream with me. I love it though. Let's see. If Evelyn's here saying amen, amen. Yes, Evelyn. Evelyn's ready to come to the Raptor Freak Church of Masai. I love seeing that. That's hilarious. Monique saying, good morning, everyone. I said it once and I'll say it again. Fans love Masai, but at the same time, people want to knock his head off. This is a weird phenomenon with him where it's like, look, we love him here, but in some places, just like that guard at the end of the championship when we won, the way he treated him, there's some people that are a little like threatened by Masai Ujiri. He is a maverick. He is a ceiling buster, being, the first African executive in the NBA. That says a lot. And in some ways, his power and his success is threatening to some people because they don't like it. And that's part of the reason why I really, really I'm really impressed with him because there are people out there that would really like Ted Rogers III, that would really like to hurt him and make him go away. But he's so strong and he's ensconced in his power and he's successful. You cannot deny someone who's been successful. Like if he had been a failure and not done well, he would have gone away. But he's been a very, very successful team president for the Raptors. And in some ways, that pisses some people off. They don't want us to be good. And they understand if he wasn't here, we wouldn't be as good. And that's why. That's part of it right there. And that's why we need to be more trusting in him and believing in him and thankful and towards him because of the whole task that he's taken on. But he loves challenges and he's really good at tackling them. And I really do appreciate that. Shir Khan saying Masai has a plan, and we believe what he is planning for Rap's future. We have the center, the spicy power forward, the lockdown small forward, this wonder kid shooting guard, the leader point guard, and six-man gunner. NBA watch out. Yes, Deacon Khan coming in with the hot fire. Testify. Yes, I believe in all this. That these are great pieces. I believe that he didn't mess up by standing pat at the core at the trade deadline, that he didn't make a big move that upset some people in Raptors Nation. Well, I trust in Masai, and this is the whole point of this morning, is that he knows way better than average Joe who's on Facebook spouting off about, oh, he's an idiot. Why didn't he trade somebody and make a big move? A lot of people are upset about this right now. But I know that he did make a big move. He got Pirtle back. And that is a big move. And it's just not in the direction that they thought it would be. That's the problem. They thought it would be like, let's tear it down a little bit and get some prospects or young players. But no, we went and got the center we wanted. And that, I don't know. I don't understand why people would be upset about that. That's something we've been whining and crying about for 2 years to get back a center. And now he did it. He listened to us. And they're still upset. It doesn't make any sense. Mike's saying, man, it's been a tough season, But man, we have had so much winning and like double the number of playoffs the first 17 years. And we actually have a bunch of series wins. And of course, the chip. Amen. Exactly. Our franchise is very, very successful for how long the history of it. There's a lot of teams that have admired in like below 500 years for a while. Like they've had, like, you can go talk to the Sacramento Kings fan nation, how much they were losing seasons. Clippers Nation, holy crap, it's only been good for them recently. There's been a lot of history of misery for Clippers Nation. And that's what I'm saying. We've been very fortunate and lucky, and then we should show gratitude and graciousness towards the fact that we've been so good in the last 10 years of Masai Ujiri's leadership. And that is something, another reason why we should trust in him is because our team has been consistently good since he's been around. And it doesn't always have to be that way. It could be more like this year and even worse. And people don't realize that. Cool Cat's here. Good morning, Cool Cat. And she just turned in. Awesome. Shirkan saying there's a glitch in YouTube chats where we don't see some messages, but Lex will read it out. The only thing is it's not archived for chat replay. But yeah, the moderator message is always archived. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'll continue to do that. I don't care if I have like 40 moderators. If you are getting your messages not through, then I will make sure you do by putting a mod on you. Banana Bread Tans, Lex is running a speech built up by scripture. Who else does this kind of stuff? Best sports hangout ever. People wish they could replicate this. Thank you, Banana Bread Tan. Yes, testify. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I don't know. It's just something creative. I was thinking about this. In some ways, I've never been a religious person. I can tell you, I went to church maybe like as many fingers I have on my hands, and they usually for Christmas or something like that because a family member wanted to go. But no, I never went myself. And I guess I'm historically Lutheran in my family, but I really am not a very religious person. So doing what I just did is very foreign for me. But yeah, I just had the creative idea. It's like, it's Sunday. I don't really want to put a special report together. I was going to do one if we had won on Friday, but because we lost, and I feel like we have like a faith problem right now with the Raptors Nation, that people just don't have faith in what we're doing with this team. That I wanted to do something silly, like let's have a faith session with a sermon, talking about faith and keeping faith, dedication, discipline, discernment, all these words. Nako saying it never should have been Vision 6-9. It should have been the mobile big player formula. Interesting. I don't know. I think the idea of Vision 6-9 is really sound in theory. It's just that we're finding out the problems with it as far as like it doesn't have enough shooting in it. Like if it was an NBA 2K23 player in their build, you could have a 6'9" guy and he's good at all these different things like Scotty is, but the shooting stat is not high enough compared to like some of the sharpshooter guys that are in the league. And I think that is part of the biggest problem with Vision 6-9 is that these guys are really good athletes, but they're not ballers ballers with shooting in some ways. They're not guys that just kind of, I don't know. It's hard to say. They're not pure shooters. Let's just put it that way. They have to learn shooting over time. Let's see. Fiercely saying many have attempted super teams, example, Nets with Durant, Harden, Irving, no result. We have talent and should believe in team effort, hard work, trust, and support from fans, chip planning. Yeah, that's all we're doing right now. And in some ways, the fact that he did the moves like Kawhi and Gasol in that year to get us to the chip shows that he is really astute and he can tell what is the next little piece that it could be added to the puzzle that could put us over the top for more of these. And that is the thing that impresses me the most about him, because in some ways, if you look at the Kawhi deal, it's so risky. In fact, they could have ruined his career. But he made that gamble, and he was exactly right. It went right into a championship the 1 year we got him, and it was really such a gamble. He probably knew that Kawhi was only going to be here for 1 year, and that's all the only chance they would get. And then he knew during the season he had to get Gasol, and he did. He pulled the trigger. He didn't wait. And that's why I'm saying, like, look, you guys may think he's not doing anything, or not you guys, but other people in the fan nation. But he does pull the trigger at really opportune, smart times. And I even think this Pirtle reacquisition in the trade deadline is an example of that too. That what's going to happen is people may see the team right now and say, well, this team's mid. It's not good enough. It's not going to win a championship like this. Well, it's very close. It's closer than y'all think. And it could be just one extra good player comes into the mix somehow, some way, acquired, and boom, it puts us over into another level. And that's what I want Raptor fans to understand is that Masai is constantly working on this team and that he's reshaping it, but not totally tearing it down. That he's going to bring in a player that's going to add us to a next level. Watch, this is going to happen, and it may even be that he makes an extra player like a Marc Gasol move to even make it even more insured and stuff. So trust in Masai that he is tinkering and with this roster and the personnel and how it works to get towards that Larry O'Brien. Just trust in him. He knows what he's doing. He has a proven track record that tells us he does. Yeah. Let's see. Mike is saying Vision 6'9" was a media catchphrase to explain getting a lot of forwards, but the plan was never about exact height. Yeah, it's not like, it's not exactly 6'9" anyway. Some of these guys are 6'7". Some of these guys are 6'10". So it's like, it's not exactly that. Race Mode saying Church of Masai. Yeah, a little bit of that this morning. A little bit of Church of Masai. Guardian saying, keep an eye on Grady Dix, shooting guard. He'll be in our draft range. Interesting. That's an interesting name. Well, I'll go look at it. Thank you, Fiercey. She liked the sermon. Yeah, a little bit of it'll be on a Sunday, maybe every once in a while when we're having a little bit of doubt in the team and what we're doing. Maybe I'll pull this format out a couple times in the future, and maybe I'll be a little bit more prepared and actually like take a real sermon and like replace any kind of religious words with like words that go with the Raptors history. So maybe I'll do a little bit more preparation in the future because I really just thought of this like yesterday before I got on the stream. And this is a concept that's interesting, but also I want everybody to know that this isn't like me trying to start any kind of new religion. This is just me playing off the idea of trust in Messiah and the way the Raptors Nation is. It's not like I don't want to become a televangelist. Let's just put it that way. Cool Cat saying folks want it to be poaching season. They want our executives. They want our players. I'm not falling for garbage. In Masai and Bobby, we trust. You testify. Cool Cat. That's right. That's the thing. Masai brings a bountiful plenty to our team with, good people, a good coach and good players. And people want them. People want them around the league. People want Fred VanVleet. People want OG Anunoby. People want Scotty Barnes. And that is something that he has built himself, Masai, in the way that he built this team. And we should be thankful that he's not just giving away the fruit that we've grown here to other teams. Like we're a farm team for the rest of the NBA. I mean, in some ways, I trust him really a lot in that respect. Because look, a weaker GM or somebody who like may have kowtowed and said, yeah, all right, I'll trade OG for that many draft picks when they didn't really want to. That's what I'm saying. He's not brash or rash in his decision making. I'm sure there's been a few deals for OG that have been super attractive in the last couple of years, and he still said no. So I trust him for doing that in some ways, the ability for him to say no to other teams when they're coming for good assets. So Mike's saying, Nako, it was the mobile big player vision. It's speed for switchability, height and plus wingspan, guard skills and forwards with a center and a normal guard was the idea of the future. Shades of 2019. Yeah. And when rebuilding, it's important to start with your most important positions, AKA the forwards. They can be guards at times. So you grab a couple and test to see how you can make that happen. It's not over. Yeah, I think it's not a complete failure. I think that we've seen a lot of really good things from switchability and positionless basketball. It's just that like I said before, I think that it's something you can't run the whole game. I think it's something like, obviously, if Fred's out there, we play it in a different kind of mode when he's on the court. But when he's out and we have that kind of tall lineup, we can do the positionless switchability kind of stuff. And I think there is real merits to it. It's not exactly a failure. It's just that we need to understand how to use it the most effectively. And I think it's kind of like when you play a zone defense all of a sudden. Okay, we're playing zone. It could be like, oh, we're playing positionless all of a sudden. And that's kind of how it works. It's a look. It's not something that is just a general philosophy that's all the time on our team, because I think that hurts us. I think that we need to have the versatility of being able to revert to a traditional lineup. I think that that's one of the biggest things that has been taught to our team this season is that centers kill us, point guards kill us. Well, we need to be able to show a traditional lineup at times when those kind of things are destroying us in games. Have a point guard out there that can handle a quick little point guard, slow him down. Have a big man like Jakob out there to battle with a real big center like Zubac. So it's kind of like that to me. It's like a call play. Like, okay, we're going to play man on man defense. Oh no, we're going to play zone. Oh, we're going to play a traditional offense. No, we're going to play positionless. That's the way I look at it at this point. Infamous is saying, morning, there have been teams that have been around way longer than us and never been to the finals. That's right. Some teams have barely been to the playoffs in their history. Like Charlotte. Charlotte has not gone very far or done very much in the playoffs. They did a lot in the 90s for a bit, but they haven't really done a whole lot since. So there's a lot to be grateful for as far as our team has not been around as long as Charlotte. And look at how much they've been able to accomplish or get done in their team, in their history. Yeah, not a lot at all. G saying 11 other teams have never won a chip. Years like years like this for us or what some fan bases have been going through for years and years. In fact, they go through worse. This is actually a mid-year. We're a 500 team. We're not a 300 team. And that's the thing. There's different levels to this. The Toronto Raptors have been a 200 team in the very early history of the team. We were like a 200 team. Then we were a 300 team. Then we were a 400 team. Then we became a 500 team. Then we became like a 600 team a little bit with Vince. And you go up and down. It's really how you want to gauge it. We're a 500 team. That's closer to 600 again. And that's really where we want to be. A 600 team or higher. Obviously, 700 would be great. But 600 is pretty good. And that's what I'm saying. We'll get back to that. We're going to get back to that sooner than we're going to go down further. Let's see. Fiercey is saying, I was watching a few of the games yesterday, Celtics and Hawks, Golden State and the Bucks, and clearly three-point shooting is a must in order to get back in games when trailing. Yeah, this may be a failing of our team and the management is that they got to gauge the trends in the league and how it's changing and try and stay ahead of them. And it could be that they did a fast one. Like I said, they changed some of the rules last summer and they really emasculated the defense in the NBA. And, three-point shooting is so important at this point. So I agree. One thing I will say on the 905 level, we have a lot of good three-point shooters developing down there. And that kind of portends that maybe they are trying to farm or figure out getting more three-point shooting on our team with having Wieskamp, Ryan Hawkins, Gabe Brown, people like that on that level. So who knows? Maybe some of these guys do make it up and they become some of the sharpshooters for us. Or in this offseason, we get more established regular minutes in the NBA already, vet kind of three-point shooters. Will Barton is the kind of guy like that, but maybe we get somebody that's even more a name like that too in some ways. But I agree, three-point shooting is an absolute vital thing that you need on your team, and especially to get back in games quickly. You need those three-point shooters, and we're not valuing that as much on this team as we should. I agree with this. G saying Curry has changed the game. Fiercely, three-point shooting is a must in today's NBA. Yep, for sure. Nako saying Grady is a good shooter. I like Kaysen more for defense and passing. Okay, y'all still talking about those draft prospects, Kaysen and Grady Dick. All right. Mike saying in the Philly series, we had lineups like Lowry, Kawhi, Spicy, Ibaka, and Gasol. And if you look now, we have been starting Fred, Scotty, OG, Spicy, and Pirtle. Shades of 2019 in its early days with the format. Yeah, I really am excited about our team and what's possible. I know that a lot of people are just like down and they think that this is stupid what we're doing. We're losing too much. They can't see the possibilities for us to actually start winning again when we click and figure it out. And that's the problem, is that they don't understand how basketball works in that way. It can be a little bit off for a little while, but then all of a sudden you figure out what's wrong and then boom, you're off and racing and winning a lot of games. And I think that's the problem. I think that everybody's just kind of like thinking, the people that are negative about what's going on right now, they just think, well, this is how we're always going to be. But they don't understand that there's some things we can tinker with and just change slightly. It's going to work. And they just got to believe in Masai and trust that it will. Monique saying, NBA standings, everything continues to be tight. What did you guys take away from Open Gym? I was going to watch it last night, but I fell asleep. So I haven't watched that Open Gym episode yet. but I will definitely watch it this afternoon. So I'll have to talk about it tomorrow, Monique. I was about to watch it, but I guess I was really tired from the Lakers game, being up late, and I fell asleep before 10 last night. It was really weird. I never fall asleep that early, but I was really exhausted, I guess, from the Laker game. But yeah, that's looking at the standings this morning. The Chicago Bulls are in that 10th spot now because they have a tied record with the Wizards, and the Wizards are on the outside looking in now. The Bulls are in the 10th spot, and we would play them if the playoffs started tomorrow. We would play them in the last play-in matchup, Bulls versus Raptors. Single elimination. Somebody goes out. If they lose, they go out. The other person has to win one more still. So yeah, it's very interesting. Isaac saying, I wanted JV, Miles Turner or Pirtle for like 2 years. Masai got Pirtle for next to nothing. Then he spoke honestly, taking responsibility for not acquiring a center earlier. Rebuild and patience for the win. There you go, Isaac Campbell. Testify. Testify. That's right. We wanted Pirtle for a few years and we got him finally. Thank God. That's the thing. Masai is kind of like a target guy. He targets players that he really highly values, like Precious and Jakob, and he goes and gets them. Like Giannis was one of those targets. He really wanted to go get Giannis Antetokounmpo, but he wasn't successful with that one. But he is very good in figuring out deals and trades to get people like Precious Achua and Jakob Pertl. And that's part of the reason why I have trust in him, is that he's like shooting very specific shots to get people on our team, and he's successful at it, and he gets them here, and you know that he truly values them. So I really like that he's like a kind of guy that doesn't like give up on players. He lets them work through it, and he gives them time to get better and better, and doesn't, like OG and Pascal, all this work and where they've gotten to may not be possible on other teams. Like, you got to think about that. Like, Fred's journey may not have been possible on other franchises. If he had got to another team undrafted and tried to get on a G League with another team, there's no guarantee that he had a path to get to where he got on the Raptors roster, that he may have been out of the league within like a year or two of trying to be in it. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's crazy. In some ways, he's very lucky that he went the path with the Raptors, because there's no guarantee Fred was going to make it with another team. Now, he's very good, and it could be very well that he did, but I don't know. That's not, you got to think about what the team was doing, whether they have other people in his way, whether they're just like, no, we don't have any room. That could have been possible for him. Let's see. MSJ saying, will you be selling Survival Raptors Apocalypse food buckets soon? I'm not any doomsday like cult or anything weird like that. That's funny though. Rorschach saying, before you criticize Masai, you should walk a mile in his shoes. That way, when you criticize him, you are a mile away and you have his shoes. Rorschach, I'm going to give you a dunk just because that's hilarious. I don't have my pad, but I'm going to make sure I put that on there. That's really good. Infamous said, we had some bad luck. The injury of Otto really affected us. He was the shooting that we needed. Yeah, that's true too. Like, honestly, that's true. Like, if you think about the missing ingredient of Otto Porter Jr. this season, he could have really added up to like instant offense or helping with 3-point shooting at tough times. I agree with this. We'll never know, at least this year, but maybe next year we'll get a chance to have him on our court with us more. And then we'll see that impact that Infamous is alluding to here. Nako saying, Masai did mention he feels a lot of the trades he could have done, some of these trades in the offseason. Yeah. Yeah, we've gone over this a lot. Like, listen, everything he could have done in the trade deadline, he can do this summer. And we'll see if he does. We'll see what he does. Mike's saying the Wolves touched the Western Conference Finals once with Garnett and have nothing else. And they have had no expansion restrictions. Not going to lie, even with the unfair stuff, we still get things done and have been getting it done. That's right. Seriously. I mean, and even in the early times with Isaiah, we were a very capable team in making very smart decisions. I thought it was really in the middle of the 2000s. We had some bad GMing going on, and Colangelo was okay. He was not a horrible GM. He did okay with different things. Like, I mean, he drafted, Chris Bosh and did a couple of really cool things. So, yeah, that's the thing. We've had really good success for the age of our franchise. If you really look at it that way. Some people say, oh, you don't have these championships, the Lakers. And I say, well, how long have you been around and how long has it been catered towards you? And the Celtics, you have so many championships because you were in a league where there were only like 12 teams when you're winning championships and stuff like that. So Nameless is saying the league has neutered our defensive ability. It is true in some ways. And I think that is the hugest difference between last season and this season. is that they saw we had a winning formula with our style of play of defense, stifling and suffocating. And they were like, well, I don't like this. Let's try and hurt it as much as possible. Well, they hurt the whole league's defense. And I don't know if this is better for the league in some ways. There's going to be some weird sussing this out. And hopefully they'll go a little bit back, dial it back a little bit, and give a little bit more power to the defensive side again in the next couple of years. Because I think they're going to realize how it doesn't help the league. And in a way, it makes the league more like a really shitty all-star game that we saw just a month ago. That's what I'm worried about. The guys are just going to be like, woo, walk on through. And it's just going to be like a dunk at this end contest, a dunk at that end of the contest. Nobody gives a shit about defense anymore. It's just who can score as much as possible quickly. And if you're missing shots, that's how it determines. It has nothing to do with defense. It's just if you miss shots, you lose the game. So just go in and make all dunks if you can. Logical saying, we heard more from Thad Young about Masai targeting him in open gym. Cool. All right. Well, I don't have to get off here and go see about that. Well, I'm going to do a real quick stream today. We were on for 4 hours yesterday, and it was taxing and tiring. So I'm just going to finish up right now, y'all. 9:05, 3 o'clock. Grand Rapids Gold is who they're playing. The referees once again are JD Rawls, Chelsea Painter, and Eric Alig. So 3 o'clock, we got Raptors action. Let's see. I'm pretty sure all the guys are still with them. They'll have their most with Joe Weezy, Delano, Ron, and Jeff, and Christian. So, they have a nickname for Christian. I know that you have Kanono, Mike, and I've said Koloko Beware, but his nickname within the team on the 905 is C-Loc. That's what they're calling him. They're calling him C-Loc. So the nickname for Christian is C-Loc. Just so you know, that's what the other guys on 905 call him in the interviews. They say, C-Loc was real good with the blocks and the rebounds. So just a FYI, C-Loc. Let's see. Shirkan saying, Raptorsfreak family, just look at the terrible trades made in the NBA, past couple of trades, the Westbrook trades, the Simmons debacle, Gobert atrocious haul, and Murray bag given to San Antonio. Masai values assets way better. Yeah. We can see like horrible moves made by other GMs around the league. And that is a good way to be thankful and grateful that we have Masai as our GM and our team president. For sure, other teams make mistakes constantly. And they're really they're just grasping at straws. Sometimes you just want somebody that you feel like is capable in the job. And a lot of teams don't feel like they have that, You can talk to New York Knicks Nation about the struggles with having a good front office leader that has some sort of idea of what they're doing and making sound decisions. That team was run really poorly for decades with front office decisions. And until recently, they've had success. They've not had any success until now. And it really was very bad front office decisions. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, and share. And tomorrow I'll have a Monday memory for you guys. It's going to be a fun one. I'm trying to bring everybody's spirits up and keep the faith and stay positive. So tomorrow we're going to go over a very, very happy Monday memory. So please join me 9:30 tomorrow morning. I'll have a personal Monday memory from the Raptors history that I'll like to share with you guys. Mike saying it's trying to reduce season injuries. Calling games tighter preserves talent to be available for ratings, so certain players are protected a bit. Yeah, I can see that. Tom saying, have a great day, Lex. Cheers, everyone. Go Raps. Go, Tom Duke. Look at this beauty. Look at this beauty. Look at that. The North with I love this thing. This is maybe my favorite possession I have in my entire life, or not in my entire life, but in my entire everything I have. This is my favorite possession right here. The second one will be even better. But yeah, I'll put it back in its nice little box. Championship 2019. All right, y'all. Have a great day. I appreciate everybody coming in for Sunday service. I know it's a little weird and janky. It's a work in progress. But next time I'll do it maybe with a little bit more preparation. But I don't know when I'll do it again. It's going to be really a once in a blue moon segment. I'll probably do Sunday reports more often. But when I feel like we need a Sunday service, I might do that then. Nameless saying, great sermon. Thank you. And I hope my Italian was okay too, Nameless. Yeah, the ring is beautiful. Thank you, Monique. And thank you, MSJ. Cheers to you also. Y'all have a great day. And let's go Raptors. Trust in Masai. Keep the faith. Raptor fans, listen, this guy is so smart, so capable, and he's doing such a good job. He's doing so many good things with Giants Africa, and just being somebody for people to look up to. That is fantastic. So trust in Masai. He knows what he's doing. He knows way better than anybody who thinks he's crazy and what he's doing right now with the core. And just believe that this team is on the right path and that we're going to make it right and we're going to get closer to that next ring than any other team. Watch than other teams. Isaac saying nearly dropped the pot lid in my bad foot while doing the dishes yesterday. My kids laughed at me when I said, "You see, the b-ball gods want me to play again. How do you explain? Trust Masai if you don't believe." Isaac, you're funny, man. That's good. Well, heal up so you can play. You got to get back out there and help your team. All right, y'all. Have a great day. And let's go, Raptors. Trust in Masai. Trust in Masai. That's right. Trust in Masai. Please.